on that Christmas night where the two top teams were going to meet face to face in a test of the best for my San Francisco 49ers and the Baltimore Ravens in a Week 16 Monday Night Football Christmas night closer to close out the Christmas Day slate. It was going to be a big test, probably the biggest one that the 49ers ever faced this season in the 2023 NFL season. It was going to be a big one, a battle between two teams that, in my opinion, I thought was going to be a battle between two equal balanced teams. So unequal in some areas, but for the most part, equal in others. For example, the rushing attack, the receiving game, the defenses, and whatnot. But at the time I'm recording this, after Monday night, this recap is gonna go out a little later than usual, and as usual, if that makes any sense. I think it becomes pretty clear, how the Niners are coming out of this game. But let's talk about it. Because that game was certainly something, and certainly not in the way in favor of the 49ers. So, the Niners, they started things relatively with promise, but unfortunately it was spoiled. That was because Brock Purdy, as he marched his team down to near the end zone, I was a little curious why he decided to throw this pass. He tried to fit in a pass to Deebo Samuel, but unfortunately he threw it a little too late, under duress, and instead it went to safety Kyle Hamilton. Now, considering I was at a Christmas party with my family, and I wasn't really aware of what was going on, I was peeking in, I was like, damn, what just happened here? Why Brock Purdy throwing in a pass dead in the right to Kyle Hamilton and in the end zone, and now all of a sudden Baltimore's second drive, I thought it was their opening drive, but it's actually their second drive, and now they get a chance once again to possibly march down the field and go and get some points. But Baltimore's second drive ended up being very unlucky for them. But I mean, at that point in the game for San Francisco, it was still early on. It's something that they will take. On a converted first down after the Baltimore Ravens converted third down, the 49ers defense forced Lamar Jackson all the way back to their own end zone. And this is something that Lamar Jackson shouldn't be doing. He shouldn't be all the way out of his end zone. He should be trying to get rid of that ball. He has literally Nick Bosa, Chase Young all over his butt. But then he doesn't see the official that literally stumbling over himself. The official stumbled over himself, so he trips, and then Lamar Jackson trips over the official, and then that allows Chase Young to hit him for an intentional grounding safety. So the Niners get 2 free points off of that. I'm like, okay, we'll take what we can get. So the Niners managed to get an additional 3 more points. They go back down the field, but unfortunately cannot convert that into a touchdown. So okay, it's 5-0 Baltimore. So the Ravens get another chance on offense, but it was filled with so much ref ball. And I guess this was kind of the theme throughout the night. A little bit of ref ball and some turnovers here and there. So safety Tashawn Gibson, he was sent to the jail of penalties for the crimes committed of pass interference that could have ended the drive, that could end the Ravens' drive towards the end of the first quarter, and a face mask penalty 2 plays later. I'm like, you cannot be doing this on two of 3 back-to-back plays. And now that sends the signals to the referees and to the Ravens that say, okay, let's pick on this guy. Let's pick on Tashawn Gibson because he's going to be a penalty machine in this game. He needed to settle down and discipline himself to find ways to not get into the what do you call it? The lightning, the spotlight of the officials. But ref ball at least couldn't stop Ambry Thomas from making a touchdown-saving tackle on Nelson Aguilar. So it's a 5-3 game. Okay, this is still a kind of close game. It's still early in the game. Only the first quarter has come and gone. But man, right when the second quarter begins, Purdy throws a pretty bad interception at the start of the second. He threw it straight into the dead eyes of corner Marlon Humphrey. Like, what are you doing? Like, this is not a throw that you make a second time. So I get it. The pressure, the front four of Patrick Green, Roquan Smith, and all those other people, it's pretty damn good. I'll give that to the Baltimore Ravens. And your offensive line is pretty crap, aside from Trent Williams. But damn, you need to relax. You got to get out of the pocket more. I mean, it's kind of a very concerning trend that I'm seeing out of Brock Purdy, even during this winning stretch. But the dude's got to get out of the pocket more. He cannot, like, he has to get past his first read, because I've noticed a little bit of a concerning trend that he's just focusing, trying to get that explosive play out. It's like, go for the quick check down. You know that pressure, especially the heat-seeking pressure, is coming on you. Like, don't zone in so much. Don't lock eyes with the middle of the field. Don't lock eyes on that explosive play that you're trying to get in. Get that ball out quick. That's what I was trying to say in that review. Get the ball out quick, especially with the pressure coming in. But instead, you throw it dead in the eyes into the batted arms of Marlon Humphrey. So now you give the Ravens an opportunity to go and score after a couple of chunk plays, and after a fourth and goal touchdown run from Gus the Bus Edwards. It's a 10-5 game in favor of the Ravens. I'm like, okay. I mean, still early in the second quarter. Hopefully Brock Purdy will clean up his act together, but no. He throws another very poor throw to try and fit a ball to Christian McCaffrey, which was deflected into the arms of Kyle Hamilton. He throws a second pick to Kyle Hamilton for his third interception overall. And I'm just like, damn. Like, what happened to Purdy? Did he drink too much eggnog before the game started? I'm like, the dude's like clearly stressed out. But at least for the 49ers, they were lucky that the Ravens were only able to manage 3 out of that. But again, Purdy needs to relax. Attack where it was hurting Baltimore the most. And on the positive side, at least, what was hurting Baltimore the most was the middle of the field. And unfortunately for the 49ers, they were not able to create anything in the middle of the field because, well, the offensive line was not holding anything for Purdy to try and create that opportunity. It's just like, either eat the sack or try to get out of the pocket to create something, to create an opening for your receivers, to create something for yourself, possibly. It's like, you just can't stare, and I keep repeating myself, you can't keep staring in the dead of the rights of the defender. So they at least did finally get him to relax, thanks to the help of Dr. Christian McCaffrey, CMC, because he basically had to carry the load on the next drive, try to get a touchdown on the next drive, which he did after a big 40-yard run, set up his goal line touchdown run. All right, it was a 13-12 game, and I know some people were questioning the decision for Kyle Shanahan to go for the extra point rather than the 2-point conversion. And I had some of my family members that were also watching this game with me saying, "Oh, why didn't they go for the 2 points?" You know, my opinion, yeah, kind of sketch, but it was like, what, 4 minutes left in the game, so still over a half of football left to go. So I mean, if they could force a stop on the Ravens, and San Francisco could get a chance to score it again, I mean, as long as they could do that, I'm okay with it. Problem is, the defense couldn't stop Lamar Jackson in the offense, especially Lamar Jackson when he was on the run. Remember how I said that the Niners needed to find ways to get Lamar Jackson to stop running all over the damn field? Well, here was the problem. So you had the 49ers defense on a 3rd and 16, thanks to some penalties, some ref ball committed by the Ravens offense. So all they had to do was stop Lamar Jackson on 3rd and 16, a little past midfield. You do that, and especially if you could get a big time sack to force a punt out of field goal range. No, you couldn't. And Chase Young almost had him, but then he couldn't get him. And then once Lamar Jackson gets out of the pocket, he scrambles out of the pocket. Fred Warner, he could have took him down to stop him short of the goal line, force a field goal. But no, he blanked. he blanked. And maybe Lamar Jackson was too elusive. Maybe I'll give him credit for that. But no, Lamar Jackson scrambled Fred Warner, had him blanked like the Grinch's eggs. And like, damn, it's like he managed to get the Ravens near the end zone, get them into very close scoring range. So at least the 49ers were able to stop that. But damn, the Ravens were having the 49ers by the nut sacks. And it wasn't even halftime yet. So they go into halftime 16-12, but there were serious issues going on in this game that were giving 49ers and its fans a little bit. No, I don't even know if I can say a little bit by this point. A little bit of serious concern. I take that back with the little bit part. A little bit of serious concern because Purdy clearly crumbling under the pressure of the Ravens front four. It doesn't help when the rest of the offensive line, minus Trent Williams, and I guess you could say also Aaron Banks, is crumbling under the pressure after what was a promising opening drive that ended with the interception. It also doesn't help Purdy when he's throwing like 3 interceptions by that point, blank, dead into the eyes of defenders. And on the opposite side, you have Lamar Jackson in the Ravens rushing attack, killing the 49ers defense. They were like literally scrambling over the field on that defense. And even the chunk passing plays that the Ravens were getting. It was like the Niners can't stop it. They were tackling so poorly. And, my thought process was, okay, still have to go. The 49ers, they better make some adjustments. Like, as I've always said before, make the right adjustments and then go into the second half firing on all cylinders. But nope, that didn't happen in this game. That didn't happen on Christmas night because it actually did make some adjustments, just the worst kind of adjustment because Brock Purdy threw another pick near dead to the rights of another Ravens player. And then you had another mistake. Punter Mitch Wisnowski hitting a punt returner late to give the Ravens ample field position to go and score another touchdown. So all of a sudden, it's 22-12 in favor of the visitors. You're now facing a 10-point deficit. And then you had the interception. You had the 4th interception from Brock Purdy, dead in the rights of Patrick Queen, 1 play after. So it's like, what are we doing here? Like, why didn't anyone tell Brock Purdy on that interception? It was like literally an interception. Purdy threw an interception like with the pressure crumbling around him. He just literally threw it dead in the rights to Patrick Queen, and that set up an easy touchdown for Lamar to Zay Flowers, and it was 30-12. And keep in mind, this was still 30-12. Like what? It was like 12 minutes left in the third quarter. We weren't even starting the second half yet. So I'm just wondering, could someone please tell Brock Purdy that it was okay to eat some sacks in this game? Stop trying to force some damn balls into your players. Like, stop trying to force plays, magical plays to happen. It's like, it's okay to eat the sacks and try to rebound on the next play. Like, damn. I'm just like, chill. I get you're playing one of the top teams in the NFL, if not the top team in the AFC, but it's like, chill. Stop trying to play hero ball so much. And then now you go into the rest of the third quarter, having Deebo Samuel drop balls like he ate too much Butterfinger on Christmas. And then offensive lineman Trent Williams, questionable to come back into the game with the groin injury, and then eventually he didn't. So by this point, I mean, like, what more do I have to say? Damn, it's like I don't really have much else to say in regards to how piss poor, how unprepared, how undisciplined. They were lacking the discipline. Like how the Niners played on that Christmas night. It's like they deserved a whole stadium of coal. Like maybe you can get that Nickelodeon blimp that Noah Eagle and Nate Burleson always call out for, and instead of dumping slime, have it dump coal on that entire Levi Stadium, because the 49ers failed to show up in this game. They failed to tackle. They failed to stop the run. Purdy couldn't recognize his anything beyond his first read. I mean, I like Brock Purdy, but come on, this was a very bad game for him. He couldn't recognize any of the pressure coming to him, and it didn't take until the fourth quarter to finally eat some sacks and be accepting of that. And that's when he had to leave the game, which was unfortunate because of a stinger. I mean, again, I don't wish injury on anybody, but that's unfortunate. So then you had offensive linemen being lost due to injury. So in comes Sam Darnold to come in and fill for Purdy, who actually put some points on the board. I mean, but at this point, it was too late. It was already too late. The Niners lost this really bad game, 33-19. It was like pretty much an embarrassing Christmas night that was done by the end of the third quarter. It was like the Niners pretty much shot themselves in the foot with those 3 interceptions by Purdy in the first half, and it got even worse when he threw another 4th interception in early in the third quarter that was rewarded into a touchdown by the Ravens. So, I'll give credit to the Ravens. They came in with a good game plan. That was to pressure Purdy up the ass, take advantage of that piss poor offensive line that people were saying, oh, this is a good offensive line. But against really good defenses like the Browns, I guess somewhat of the Vikings, and then now this one, it's just like, damn. Just like, damn. It's like, Purdy, you really get Purdy throwing the ball erratically into very bad turnovers. So there also is a lot of failure to tackles. There's been a lot of missed tackles in this game. It's been a large increase of them in the last couple of weeks, starting with the Philadelphia game. And I was like, why are we missing tackles so much? I think they really need to sit down with each other and discuss how we need to tackle these players more, especially tackle them for losses, because something's not working here. Something is really not working here, and it's getting extremely alarming. So I know it's just one game. It snapped a six game winning skid for the 49ers. But don't you all remember that during that 3-game losing streak back in October, the things that I just pointed out, the failure to tackle, the missed tackles and all that, the stopping the run, in the Purdy's inability to, look anything past his first read and all that. All those things, a lot of them were greatly highlighted. It's coming back to creep up on the 49ers at the worst possible time. And now you have all these injuries at the offensive line with like Trent Williams, Jalen Moore, even the backups are getting injured. And there's only 2 games left, and you're trying to clinch the number 1 seed. Philadelphia won in a nail biter to the Giants of all teams. Yes, they have their concerns, but you don't want to keep Philadelphia in the running, especially when you have your own injury problems right now. So this is the game that the Niners really need to have, and they shit the bed. They shit the bed in this one. Again, credit to the Ravens. They came up with a good game plan. Pressure Purdy up the ass, and then offensively, run the ball down their throats. And Lamar Jackson, he's playing like trying to live up to that name of his contract. Really playing it well. So, like I said, greatly disappointing performance from everyone. Purdy, the defense, the coaching staff, you name it. So, I guess going forward, there's 2 games left of the season, and if they badly want that first round bye, the home field advantage, all that good stuff that comes with the number 1 seed, the Niners better play their asses off, in spite of all the injuries in these last 2 weeks. They better find a way to overcome all that. I mean, sure, you got games against the Commanders on a short week, and then in your season finale, you got a Rams team that will most certainly have something to play for in a playoff spot. So the Niners no longer have any room for error. They no longer have any room to sleep on anyone. No more. So, speaking of their next opponent, let's look at Week 17. So, coming off this ugly, horrific loss, the Niners have to travel on a short week across the country for an early-ass o'clock game in the nation's capital to face the 4-11 Washington Commanders. So pretty much the Commanders, I mean, yeah, they're 4-11, and they're pretty much in a transition phase, not only as they're preparing for a high draft pick in this year's NFL draft, but also trying to figure out who's going to stay, who's going to go on pretty much every single position on their team, whether it be the head coach, the general manager, the quarterback position especially, because, you know, they're under new ownership now. So pretty much this is a season. This is pretty much a time of transition for these Washington Commanders. So recently they benched second-year quarterback Sam Howell for the second straight game, mid-game. So head coach Ron Rivera, in what's likely going to be the last 2 weeks of his time in Washington, may elect to go with the veteran Jacoby Brissett for this game and the next game against the Cowboys. So regardless of whoever wants to go with as the quarterback, the Niners, coming off that piss poor loss at home to the Ravens, they need to play with ambition. They need to play with fire coming into this game, coming all the way from here to there in the nation's capital, considering what's at stake. No more sleeping on the wheel. No more excuses. Regardless of all the injuries at hand, they need to play like they want that number 1 seed. No more excuses, please. So anyway, deflating loss for the 49ers. Hopefully they will bounce back to get to their ultimate goal. I mean, obviously it's what's in February, but let's look to now. Their ultimate goal right now is getting that number 1 seed, gain that rest for what's to come in January. So anyway, let me know your thoughts on this very disappointing loss by the 49ers in the comments below. Like I said, I don't have much to say, but I'd like to hear what you guys have to say from this loss by the 49ers to the Baltimore Ravens on Christmas night. Anyway, that is it for me from DylanLasagna at Very Cold Lasagna. And as always, keep that lasagna very cold in the fridge. Your takes on the world of sports. The Niners dropped this one 33-19 in week 16. And, well, hopefully the Niners win the next 2. Anyway, until the next one, peace out.